November 22nd, 1963. A day that changed America forever. But what if it didn't? What if John F. Kennedy had survived the assassination attempt? How would history have unfolded? What ripple effects would echo through time? Today, we explore the alternate history of a world where JFK lived. Welcome back to History Reimagined, where we dive into fascinating what-if scenarios. Today, we're exploring one of the most intriguing questions in American history. What if President John F. Kennedy had survived the assassination attempt? On that fateful day in Dallas, JFK was shot while riding in a motorcade. But let's imagine an alternate scenario where the bullet missed and Kennedy survived. First, let's consider the immediate aftermath. JFK's survival would have undoubtedly shaken the nation, but it would also have allowed him to continue his presidency. What were his plans? What policies would he have pushed forward? Kennedy was a visionary leader with ambitious goals. From civil rights advancements to the space race, his second term could have been transformative. Let's delve into three major areas that would have been impacted: civil rights, the Vietnam War, and the space race. First, civil rights. JFK had already shown support for the civil rights movement. He had proposed the Civil Rights Act, which aimed to end segregation and discrimination based on race. However, his untimely death left the task to his successor, Lyndon B. Johnson.
My fellow Americans, I am about to sign into law the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
In our alternate timeline, JFK's survival would have given him the political capital to push through this landmark legislation himself. Imagine the impact of a sitting president, who was already a symbol of change, signing the Civil Rights Act into law. His leadership could have accelerated the fight for equality, potentially leading to even greater reforms. With Kennedy's charisma and commitment, he might have been able to garner broader support for subsequent legislation, further dismantling systemic racism in America. Next, the Vietnam War. Kennedy had expressed doubts about escalating U.S. involvement. He was wary of committing more American troops to a conflict that seemed increasingly unwinnable. In 1963, Kennedy had begun to implement a plan to withdraw 1,000 U.S. military advisors from Vietnam by the end of the year. His administration was quietly working on plans to disengage from Vietnam entirely after the 1964 election. If JFK had lived, he might have successfully navigated a path to de-escalation. Instead of the massive troop deployments that characterized Johnson's administration, Kennedy might have pursued diplomatic solutions, perhaps even opening backdoor channels to negotiate a peaceful settlement. Many historians believe that Kennedy's approach to Vietnam would have been markedly different. His survival could have altered the course of the war, saving countless lives and preventing the extensive anti-war movement that later defined the 1960s. Lastly, the space race. Kennedy's vision to land a man on the moon by the end of the decade was a bold promise. His inspirational leadership was instrumental in driving the Apollo program forward. In our alternate history, JFK continues to champion space exploration. His ability to unite the nation around this cause might have accelerated technological advancements and fostered a stronger sense of national pride and global leadership. Kennedy's charisma and dedication might have inspired even more significant achievements in space. Perhaps we would have seen an earlier development of space stations, advanced satellite technology, or even the beginning of interplanetary exploration. But the effects of JFK's survival wouldn't stop there. Let's consider the broader implications. In the political arena, Kennedy's survival would have significantly impacted the 1964 presidential election. He was widely popular and likely would have secured a second term. This would have delayed or altered the political careers of many future leaders. Lyndon B. Johnson, who succeeded JFK, would have remained vice president. His Great Society programs, including Medicare and Medicaid, might have been introduced differently or not at all under Kennedy's administration. Furthermore, the trajectory of Richard Nixon's political career could have shifted, potentially altering his path to the presidency in 1968. On the international stage, Kennedy's experience during the Cuban Missile Crisis had proven his ability to handle high-stakes diplomacy. His survival could have influenced the course of the Cold War, possibly leading to more diplomatic engagements with the Soviet Union and a reduction in nuclear tensions. JFK had also expressed interest in collaborating with the Soviets on space exploration. Such a partnership, had it come to fruition, might have eased Cold War hostilities and fostered a new era of international cooperation. The cultural and social landscape of the 1960s was rapidly changing. Kennedy's progressive stance on issues like civil rights and his appeal to younger generations positioned him as a leader capable of guiding the country through these transformative times. Imagine a world where Kennedy's inspirational leadership continued to influence the civil rights movement, women's rights, and other social justice causes. His presidency might have accelerated social change and fostered a more inclusive society. Conclusion. While we can never know for certain how history would have changed, exploring these scenarios reminds us of the profound impact one person can have on the world. JFK's legacy, even in reality, continues to inspire generations. What do you think would have happened if JFK had survived? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through alternate history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more intriguing explorations. Thanks for watching. This has been History Reimagined. See you next time.